Somewhere in the vastness of what could have been, there is a world where the most successful football nation in history simply stops. Early. Quietly. In a group stage match, nobody outside the sport even remembers the score of. 5 World Cups. 96 years of being the standard everyone else is measured against. Brazil has never, not once, failed to escape a World Cup group stage. We gave AI every variable of football history and asked it one question: what if 2026 is the year that ends? To understand why this question even matters, we have to understand what Brazil actually is, statistically, not romantically, statistically. Brazil has reached the knockout stage in all 22 World Cups they've entered. No other nation can say that. Not Germany, not Argentina, not even Italy, who once went an entire tournament cycle without qualifying at all. This consistency comes from scale most countries cannot replicate. 215 million people. A footballing culture so deep, it functions less like a sport and more like a national language, spoken from birth, in alleyways, on sand, in barefoot games that produce more technical skill per square kilometer than almost anywhere on Earth. And yet, numbers are not destiny. They are only probability wearing a confident mask. The 1950 Maracanazo happened. Brazil, the overwhelming favorite, lost the deciding match at home, in front of 200,000 people, and the silence that followed was so total that some witnesses said it was the loudest silence they ever heard. Brazil has fallen before, just never this early. Never before the tournament even properly begins. But AI asked a different question entirely. We gave AI the weight of 96 years of football history. Every group stage result, every underdog upset, every tactical shift, every measurable form of human pressure. And we asked it to imagine something history insists shouldn't happen. What if it does? Match 1. AI calculated a 14% chance of an opening draw against a well-organized, lower-ranked opponent. Enough to unsettle, not enough to eliminate. Match 2. A second draw. Suddenly the mathematics tighten. AI calculated that 2 draws in the first 2 matches reduced qualification probability from 96% to 41%. Match 3. Everything now depends on this single 90 minutes. AI modeled 12,000 permutations of this exact scenario across football history. In 480 of them, the favorite goes home. A missed chance in the 89th minute. A goalkeeping error nobody will ever fully explain. A red card that changes everything in 4 seconds. And then, silence. Brazil. Eliminated. Group stage, 2026. The empire that never falls, falls. But here is what AI found that we did not expect. In the simulations where Brazil falls early, football, as a global sport, does not weaken. It grows. AI calculated a measurable surge, a 23% increase in television engagement in non-traditional football markets during tournaments where a historical giant exits early. The story becomes less predictable, and unpredictability, it turns out, is the most valuable currency the sport has. The fall of the favorite is, statistically, good for everyone except the favorite. But AI found something else, something unsettling, hiding quietly inside this better story. For 215 million people, this isn't a neutral statistic about global engagement. Football in Brazil has never simply been entertainment. It has been identity. Especially after 1950, when an entire generation rebuilt its sense of self in the sport's image, deliberately, almost desperately. AI cross-referenced economic sentiment data from the 2014 semi-final loss, the 7-1 defeat to Germany, played on Brazilian soil. In the weeks following, consumer confidence measurably dropped, not because of economics, because of something economics cannot fully measure. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's go back to the part where everything was still simple. Football was just a game. Briefly, an early elimination in 2026 would not just be a football result. AI calculated it would represent the first generation of young Brazilian players to grow up without a single championship of their own to inherit. A quiet, accumulating absence, stretching back to 2002. And here is the question that AI could not fully answer. What happens to a nation's sense of itself when the one thing it has always been the best at simply isn't anymore? We, all of us, in every country that has ever measured its worth through a game, understand this feeling more than we admit. Sport gives us a story simpler than the truth, a story where effort guarantees outcome, where the better team always wins. History and AI's 12,000 simulations both say otherwise. Perhaps the question is not whether Brazil falls in 2026. Perhaps the question is what we have built our identities on top of, and how strange it is that something as small as a ball crossing a line can hold the weight of 200 million people's sense of who they are. AI calculated the probability. It could not calculate the meaning. So, we leave you with this. Not an answer, only a question, the way the universe usually leaves things. If the empire falls in 2026, was it ever really an empire at all? Or was it always quietly just 11 people, on grass, trying their best?